So those of you in the class that do actually do the work inside here, I will validate the binding object of a proton in here, given this math problem. And some other stuff you'll need from my class is, I think it is, let's see here. Well, remember that diagram. It's important because energy, mass, causal. Okay, if the mass is an object that generally can fill this configuration, let's say, I don't know, 6 neutrons and 6 protons. And, well, I'll tell you what those are in a minute here, given AC's crack house. I think it is the ICO. Close enough. Jericho. I think number file did it. Look at these. Any one of these will do, but not exactly what I'm looking for. Well, this is the dot game, figuring out how many. There's some limits in there to give you exactly what structures you need. That's not what I'm looking for. One, they had a bunch of people in a circle, and you got to figure out which one stabs each other last. Inside here, this whole crack house project, to figure out the binding models of the protons and neutrons to the nucleus being a U, a G, silver, whatever it takes for this coin press to get pounding out, time, space.
With atomic number A and, with atomic number Z.
That shit is Chernobyl over there. It may not seem like a regular nuclear thorium salt reactor, but there you go.
So is everyone clear on how we arrived at this formula? It's effectively the energy released.
Again, when you look at the rebuild on the water damage, the frame damage of the house inside of there, there's an early index he likes to start inside here about the way he described it was binding energies to the graphics of what you thought it was worth to the output on getting there and doing it of time-space limitations from that form being some blinkety 42 smoke detector coming at you, Mogwise. And the world that is windows and holes in the foundation, right, AC? Jumping in and out, looking up and down.
Let's look at something that we know to be particularly unstable. Someone have any idea?
Energy is limitless energy here in this case. Mass causal, that crack house build, I bet. Like, you walk out there with this old crack house build to build this old house diagrams, it's like that's this $300 droid right here comparatively to your shit with a phantom computer that nobody gets. There's metal particles coming at you in different flak forms, and you know how that when you change that stoichiometric ratio to those values, those numbers output exactly what they should be, but most people are going to get feeds and speeds wrong for the fuzziness of the cosmic radiation background here. And I need it all. No, I just need this quadrant right here. But without these, I can't get this number or really be sure that those numbers are quantum mecha high. A money ROM, right? You know, I gotta see that A money ROM on this.
Empirical formula to get the rough binding energy of any particular assembly of protons and neutrons, and it follows experimental calculations pretty well, surprisingly so. I want to jump back to here because
look at that water damage in here. That thing is radioactive right now.
What a cross section is, because this is a quantity that you're going to be using.
So the skyscraper build, or you know, any other photon we could put in there. If we're using AC, the cooler here is probability of what passes through is the bridge build waiting for somebody to have a key to unlock a door when I could just kick in that door and hold somebody a post, or use a bunch of National Guard kids that need practice and training for MOSs in the Masons crew that National Guard and Reserves have to rebuild a house in town to get the system over the pay line of the old schoolers. However, at that point in time, you might have some incongruencies to the basic matrix later on of some of the, like, well, I look at that old schooler crew and it's like, well, that's true. And if you do those kinds of numbers, you got to throttle down a little bit with it. But on the other side of that, you can't be so permitted into the ground of what that is. The street's clean, the operation is good, you know, I mean, sure, you can give me some shit about the demo crew filling in the landfill, but you're not doing that work either. And at that point in time, this whole argument falls apart, and the vacuum decay causal collapse of the crisis in cosmetology, you getting stabbed because you weren't actually in the right position here.